Good day, everybody. Yep, today's one a day is called Stop Feeding That Tumor. Understand something. A tumor is a nutritional energy block. It's a physical block. Think about it. It's blocking the flow of energy, and when your nutrition comes along, it's not going any further than that. And don't you think that a tumor doesn't eat your nutrition? It's a parasite. Parasites eat your nutrition in your body. So a tumor is a parasite. It steals your energy because it blocks your energy. It steals your nutrition because your nutrition can't get past it. It's a block. Now, let me ask you a question. I want you to think about this. Of all the doctors that you go to see because you have scar tissue, pain in your body, remember, wherever you have pain, you have a physical block. So when you go to a doctor or you go to a practitioner, do they say, well, you've got pain because you have a physical block and we need to get rid of that physical block? Unless somebody is getting rid of that physical block, that energy flow is not going to come back. Unless you have energy flow, you won't have the energy to heal. It's all about flow of energy. Understand something. Tumors, fibroids, okay? Even just scar tissue in your joints, scar tissue in your spine, scar tissue in your muscles, scar tissue in your organs steal nutrition. But the biggest one is a tumor. A tumor and a fibroid will steal the nutrition from you. Anything. It won't allow it to go by, and it won't allow anything else to have it. It'll steal it from you. Second thing is, the first step that everybody needs to look at is this, is to lovingly pull those fibers apart. Whether you're talking about scar tissue in the joints, scar tissue in the organs, or a fibroid or a tumor, you've got to pull those fibers apart. Now, have you ever heard of any practitioners pulling fibroids apart? Did you ever hear about, hey, you've got to pull the fibers apart to allow the energy to flow, to get the blood in, to get the lymph in, to get the nutrition in, to turn that scar tissue back into beautiful connective tissue? No. They're going to probably do maybe some vibration or stimulation, or they're going to give you drugs to down the pain, or they're going to give you some energy medicine device to use, and that's all great. But the reality, if we don't physically pull the fibers apart, first you start off with connective tissue. Beautiful tissue that has blood flow going through all the fibers. Then it sticks together because of your icky, glicky, sticky diet, and because of your protective, stressed, terrorized mind, everything contracts. So then it sticks together, and then guess what? And then it tightens up like a ball. And guess what? Now you've got a scar tissue issue. Maybe you got a fibroid, maybe you got a tumor. Right? So what we got to do is lovingly open that up, pull those fibers apart to get the energy flow again. And that's how you instantaneously turn beef jerky, scar tissue, fibroids, tumors back into normal tissue. You got to work on them. And we do this with Wolfe Non-Surgical. But also with the Wolfe Non-Surgical treatment that we do, we also go in and we dissolve the crystallization. Because remember something, crystallization, okay, and fibroids, try to take a look at it like this. You ever see an ice cube? Well, if you wanted to melt the ice cube, what do you got to do? You got to turn the heat up. So if you wanted to get rid of the fibroid, you got to turn the heat up. Yes, infrared saunas would be great for that, but you'll be all day trying to melt that iceberg. You got to go in and pull it apart. If you pull it apart, you increase the temperature, you increase the energy, and that's how you get rid of a hip problem, knee problem, spinal problem without going to surgery. That's how you get rid of a fibroid. That's how you get rid of a tumor. I challenge anyone out there to challenge me on this belief. Even though it's new, does not mean it's not right. And look at, if everything that we were doing was so right, why is it so wrong out there? Okay? So, and the third step, believe it or not, is to return the displaced calcium to the bones. Because the more inflamed you are, the more calcium is going to be pulled from the bones, and it's going to go into that scar tissue, whether it's in a joint, in your spine, in your hip, in your knee, in your ankle, in your brain, or in your tumor. So that's why the tumor gets hard, because it gets cemented. So we got to return that back, but you're not going to return the calcium back to the bones unless you open up the fibers first and bring up the heat, bring up the temperature, and loosen up the calcium, and then use SAC calcium, because SAC calcium is the only calcium that's ever been patented and has showed that it can totally reverse osteoporosis. And it can be, and you can utilize this to balance the pH in even an acidic or even alkaline cancers. You heard what I said, okay? Now, so understand this. We've got to pull the scar tissue apart, the fibers apart. We've got to melt the crystallization, and we've got to get the displaced calcium back into the bones. Understand, as long as we feed the unhealthy part of the body, we cannot heal the healthy part of the body. And we can't do that as long as we have these emotional, energy, physical blocks, all right? Physical blocks are energy blocks. The unhealthy part is the inflamed body. The unhealthy part of you is wherever you're inflamed the most, okay? A fibroid or a tumor is like a chunk of ice, and we want to melt that down, like I just said. So let's pull this all apart. Let's get smart, all right? This is your body, and you're taught not to touch it. And almost every therapist out there, physiotherapy, acupuncture. Acupuncture helps with balancing energy. Physiotherapy helps with balancing energy. Okay? There's lots of therapies out there, but do they go in and pull the fibers apart? Give me a fibroid, okay? Come to me, give me a fibroid, and we'll go on my show or on Facebook right here, and I will work on you. And I will take a fibroid the size of a peach, and then we will honestly have somebody else in the room, and they will feel it. I'll work on it. I'll work on it for 40 minutes. We'll come back, and then we'll see if the size changed and if it's softer. All right. So what are you waiting for? Okay? Let's get rid of those physical blocks. Stop feeding the tumor. All right? And remember something. Where your mind goes, your body follows. So just because something's new doesn't make it not right, okay? Let's do something different. If you want different, let's do different, and you are that difference, all right? Have a beautiful day, and don't forget, tomorrow, the domino effect of unhealthy living, part 1 starts, and if you want to see how the domino effect from your mouth and how you got the condition you did and why you've got people at home that are suffering and maybe even dying, I'm going to show you how when the one domino falls, it takes the rest down, okay? Have a beautiful day. Bye now.